we've got people saying, hey, don't bother with that. You know, we're going to give you a livable wage, or a livable laziness is what I call it. So don't worry about getting that first job, which means don't worry about getting that second job and that third job. It's killing the incentive of people to go out there and find out what they don't want to do.
You know, I was talking to somebody over the weekend, and they were talking about how automation and robots are going to replace a lot of people. Maybe this is just the leading edge of, you know what, you were replaced by a machine, so don't even bother looking for a job. Just take the money, and we'll send you another check next month.
I think it's teaching people how to be kids forever. You know, government's going to take care of you. If you live, if you can breathe air, fog up a mirror, then government's going to take care of you from the cradle to the grave. And the fact of the matter is, it's a cruel world out there, and $500 a month isn't going to cut it. You're going to want to eventually do something. And to be honest with you, how about giving incentive for somebody to go out and earn that $500 a month and feel good about who they are? But that's the way the leftists do this. And quite frankly, it's a form of what I think is probably some form of reparation. Stockton, California is one of the last cities that should be looking to do something like this. I believe they were one of the cities that either filed for bankruptcy or very close. So the idea that they're doing this it ruins their tax base in terms of getting people out to earn money to reinforce what the city's doing. I think it's a terrible idea.
Hey, Kevin, speaking of California, Jimmy Kimmel was at a live event on Saturday called the Pod Save America, and about podcasts, and he said that conservatives are too dumb basically to be talk show hosts. This is exactly what he said, quote, "It just so happens that almost every talk show host is a liberal, and that's because it requires a level of intelligence." Your thoughts?
Yeah, I found it very interesting that Jimmy Kimmel would say something like that, and quite frankly, it was the funniest thing I've heard him say in 2 years. I consider this guy one of the late-night comedic hacks. If it weren't for the fact that these guys want to bash Trump every single night, they'd have no act anymore. And, you know, I challenge Jimmy Kimmel to have any conservative from the age of 9 years old or above on one of his programs and see who's actually the dummy. You know, the idea that he believes himself to be part of the intelligentsia, an intellectual, and that leftists are the ones that can handle radio or TV shows or whatever type of talk show format is ridiculous. We dominate conservative radio. Look at Brian. Brian's got one of the most successful radio shows on the market, and you could go down the line.
Exactly.
I can't name 3 successful radio talk show hosts that are leftists. And another thing, real quick point to that, they will never have somebody like me or Brian or anybody else on their programs, because I'm going to tell you, it's a career-limiting move for Jimmy Kimmel to bring somebody like me on the show to showcase just how stupid he is.
Well, the only thing is he's in 3rd place. He already says he doesn't want conservatives to watch, and now he says well, the only people smart enough to be a host are liberals. So he's basically, if I'm his network, I'm mad at him now because you just shut off a potential audience.
I completely agree. And yeah, and let me tell you, the 60+ million people that voted for Donald Trump, most of us wouldn't know who Jimmy Kimmel was if it weren't for the fact that he was crying about Obamacare and the fact that he's a multimillionaire that would never even qualify for it or use it, but he's lamenting it for everybody else. This guy knows nothing about politics. He should stick to comedy, but he's not very good at that either.